tonight's invocation. Let us pray. Eternal Father, we thank you tonight for this sport that we love, NASCAR. God, we ask you to dispatch your angels tonight and protect each and every driver. Lord, we thank you for our men and women who serve this country in the military. And Father, we thank you that this sport will have the integrity, the love, and all the excitement to make our fans know that this is a sport that you love. We give you all the praise, we give you all the glory. In the name of the Father, and in the Son, and in the Holy Ghost, amen.
ladies and gentlemen, Pony Express Broadcast Network coming to you live again from FSB Racing. Tonight we're running the Chicken Run series. This is a late night, Tuesday night series here at FSB, 11 p.m. Eastern. A series here that they have set up for, people out on the West Coast. A little easier for the Westerners in the country to be able to make the start time for this race. We're at Atlanta tonight. It looks like we're going to be running 65 laps. Qualifying is over. Drivers meeting is over. You see they're running happy hour right now. 2.5 minutes to go in happy hour. It looks like I may have a slight technical issue though, so I'm going to go ahead and address that. So please, I apologize for the momentary pause. All right, there we go. Things are back in order now, and we want to give a shout out to Sam Young, a new owner of FSB Racing. We also want to give a shout out to Steve Weber, driver of the 83 car tonight. He is the series admin in this series. He is also the series sponsor. His team, Monsoon Motorsports. You see the logo on the bottom right there. So, thanks to Monsoon Motorsports for providing the championship trophy for this Chicken Run series. Rumor has it that there's a possibility of this series actually moving to an even later start time than 11 p.m. Eastern. The guys on the West Coast, they like this late start time, but they're apparently some of them would like to see an even later time on Tuesday nights. And it makes sense. In case you didn't know, we just finished running the FSB Super Speedway Series directly prior to this race, and there's times where the race can run a little long, and people are cutting it pretty close to get in here to this Chicken Run. So we could see a potential change in start time for the Chicken Run in the future. We'll just have to see what Sammy does about that. Hey, Dan, it's Mark. You're in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, man, you mind hanging out in here tonight, being our in-race reporter?
Sure.
All right, I won't bother you too much. This is my teammate, Dan Jones, in the 007 car. Dan, I talked about this on a broadcast on January 1st that I did somewhere else. You won the King of the Hill this offseason by 1 point.
Yeah, that was some pretty stiff competition. That was a lot of fun too.
Well, I see you guys are about to line up, so I'll let you go out there and fire your car up.
Drivers, to your cars.
Having some mouse difficulties tonight, but we're back going here. The drivers are in their cars, about to fire them up.
$20 seconds. 9.
Yeah, Dan, if we get a chance, if we get a caution or something, we'll talk to you more about that King of the Hill.
Drivers,
Exactly
start
what that is and
your
how it went down.
engines.
You bet, Mark.
And here we go. The engines are fired. Cars are rolling off pit road. There's that 83 Toyota Camry. Steve Weber, straight out of Tucson, Arizona. Like we said, he is our race admin and series sponsor tonight. He's also our pole sitter here at Atlanta tonight. So Steve Weber is all over it and ready to go. We see the 55 Scott Schroyer. He's going to be starting on the outside. 17 T-Roy starting in third place. 43 Rick Bisconer will start in fourth. Going to give a shout out to our only two viewers right now, BSR Pockets and BSR Burgermeister. We appreciate the loyalty here on, we know it's late on a Tuesday night. And here we go, green flag. Weber and Scott still side by side. Great starts by both of them. Looks like we did have 16 cars start this race tonight. Here comes Dan Jones on the low side, moving up to P4. Here comes Pops on the low side, getting by Rick Bisconer, taking over a top 5 spot. Weber and Scott still running side by side up there for the lead. Got to give a shout out to my other teammate, co-founder of Pony Express, Sean Reap and Southpaw Designs for. You see that paint job there on the 007. He does all the paints over here at Pony Express. And T-Roy still hanging in there in third. Scott has now pulled ahead of Weber and taken over the race lead. There's Brian Lamb in the 09 coming through the field. The 29 Jeff Hale. I tell you what, Jeff Hale is one of the top talents here at FSB. That guy, he does it all. I want to say I've actually bought him 2 trophies in the last season. Jeff Hale, he knows how to get to victory lane. Here comes Brian Lamb looking low on the 99. Driving that 09 Ferrari tonight. Jeff Hale gonna try and follow him through there, get past Pops. So like we said, if you're just joining us, this is the FSB Racing Chicken Run, Tuesday nights, 11 Eastern. We run the Aero 88 mod. Basically what it is our Friday night Winston Cup series, which is broadcast every Friday night by Greg Bernardo and Milt Minter. All this late night Tuesday series is a miniature version of the race you'll see Friday night. Same cars, same track, same setup. So these guys come out here on late Tuesday nights and are able to get some practice for the big show on Friday night. Jeff Hale all over that bumper of the 09, Brian Lamb. We also have dual series tomorrow night, Wednesday night. We run just a short little sprint races in the Grand National NXS 15 mod at 9 Eastern. Just a little sprint race. It is a point series though, and then at 9:30 Eastern is the actual full Grand National Series race. And then Thursday nights we've moved to the CWS 15 mod this season for our newly combined truck series. We have FSB has taken the FSB division and the Pro division, and they're going to throw them all on the track together in the trucks on Thursday nights. As we see, Jeff Hale now does have a line on the inside, and we see Dan Jones looking low on T-Roy, trying to take over third place. And then, as usual, Monday nights here at FSB are the Pro and FSB Cup races. And there we go. Dan Jones gets by T-Roy. Jeff Hale gets by Brian Lamb. So, a couple cars still moving up in the field. There's a better shot of that 007 car that I talked about, Southpaw Designs. Like I said, does all the paint over here. Dan's looking low on Weber now for second place. And here comes Jeff Hale looking low, taking over fourth. Brian Lamb trying to follow him through there. Oh, Lamb gets on the apron. And so move Dan Jones up into second place. See some two cars too wide back there. Here comes Josh Elliker in the 47 car, as well as the 33 of Craig Meyer, the 52 of Rick Johnson. Rick Johnson has I want to say more cup championships here in FSB than anybody in history. Rick Johnson in that 52 car. You watch for him. He'll be up at the front at the end. Oh, we want to give a shout out to Milt as well. Sounds like Milt is also watching the broadcast. I don't know why Milt is watching the broadcast instead of hopping on TeamSpeak and calling the race, but he's probably just relaxing, drinking a beer. So Milt, we hope you enjoy the show. Back up front, we see Steve Weber now has dropped back to about 8th place. Jeff Hale has moved up into 3rd. Scott Schroyer, still your race leader. Already 15 laps into this race. We can expect some green flag stops from these guys here in the next 4 or 5 laps. Dan, how you looking on fuel tonight? You see Jeff Hale gets by the 007, takes over 2nd place. Now here comes Josh Elliker and Brian Lamb looking low. 33 car, Craig Meyer, also moving up through the field. And then, like I said, here comes Rick Johnson in that 52 car. Brian Lamb on the inside of the 007. Jeff Hale trying to pull off a pass on the outside. I don't know if that's going to work. Here comes Elliker and Craig Meyer on the inside of Jeff Hale. Oh, and the 007 pushes up just high enough. That's going to allow the 47 to get inside position. Oh, he's just not able to get there. 29 still battling on the high side.
$14 laps remaining for me. For gas.
I apologize then. I was a little off on the fuel window tonight. This is Atlanta though. Those tires are going to wear pretty quick. Oh shit, look at that. We're joined in the booth by FSB's own Milt Minter Jr.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on, man? You just drinking a cold one?
Yeah, I was just kind of searching through the forum, and I realized you had a broadcast on. I think I remember you talking about it the other night, but I forgot. We're so wrapped up in the Hangover 200 there.
Oh, man, that was a blast.
Well, it looks like you got another blast here going on here.
We do.
Great racing.
16 of the best racers over here at FSB just tearing up Atlanta right now. No cautions through 21 laps. It's been a great race.
You got the King of the Hill there in the booth, also in-car reporting. Great win, by the way, there, Dan, the other night.
Thanks, Mel. Good competition, man. 1 point away.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way. Don't want to distract you too much. I'm probably about 3 seconds off as far as because I'm not in the game here, but won't say too much. Just kind of hang out with you guys and watch this thing.
Well, Milt, I mean, since you are in here and you've been in FSB since the beginning, and I know you've won the King of the Hill once or twice. Instead of bothering Dan, why don't you tell us about what exactly is the King of the Hill here at FSB?
Well, the King of the Hill is arguably the coolest, for me, discipline of racing in an off-season race. To win the King of the Hill, you have to be good in 4 disciplines. You have to be good in super speedways, short tracks, and road course racing. You have to get obviously the best points win. On the average there, Dan won 2 of those races, towards his win, and then got solid finishes in the other races. And with the competition, like with the great Slim Jim Gately right on our heels there, and Rick Bisconner, and on, Scott Schroyer, guys you see here tonight, and Craig Meyer was right there also. It was a 3 or 4 car battle into the last race.
We have a new race leader. Brian Lamb powers to the lead. Josh Elliker also gets through there now.
In the Ferrari, Scuderia Ferrari. Don't go too into the corners.
So Milt, how many times have you actually won the King of the Hill?
Once, there was this guy, that resides in South Carolina. His name is Matt Watkins, and he drives a 15 car and kept getting in the way of winning that thing, and it was the most satisfying thing because I got to win that race with him in it. Oh boy, look at that. 47 to Josh Elliker taking a look here. When you look at these drivers, you're talking Lamb, Rookie of the Year, Josh Elliker, a stud, Greg Meyer, stud, Rick Johnson, 6-time Pro Cup champion.
I was just telling him about Rick Johnson with the most Pro Cup titles out of everybody and how he would be up there at the front before the end of this thing.
He's been pretty quiet, last year. People do life and stuff, and hadn't heard much from him, but great to see him back on the track.
Yeah, Rick Johnson, we were talking about Jeff Hale. There's some big names over here who can win, who do win a lot of races.
Jim Christopher, he's a stud. He's new to this league, but he's not new to racing. And, look at all the wins he got in at the FSB division last year. Crazy. Of course, you got, your defending champ there, the Hailstorm, Jeff All Hail. Oh, man, Lamb in the grass there, and he's around.
No caution.
That's a tough break for our race leader there. These guys are really pushing it. You see them running down there on the apron on the front stretch.
Yeah, this is a track I have not run before. I haven't run this series. So, can't really understand from the cockpit what happened there, but definitely tough luck for the Ferrari team there. My dad drove for Ferrari, and they'll definitely be running around, to say, like a Chinese fire drill in the pits there.
And here we go, is where you should be seeing green flag pit stops here any lap now. Rick Johnson, Josh Elliker leading this race. You've got the 33 Craig Meyer in third, and like you said, the 40 Jim Christopherson up there in fourth place. And Dan had fallen back a little bit, but he's back up there in the top 5. As it looks like a couple cars have started pitting.
Yeah, that's my bad. That is Christopherson. His name doesn't, it's so long it doesn't show up on the driver's screen there. Well, green flag racing. You had green flag looking in the forum. I took a break after the hangover 200, and along with I think I sat in this darn chair so long, my playing pretend race car driver, my shoulder was just killing me. I had to get back to tile work to make it feel better.
So here we go, everybody. Here we go. The 3 of the top 4 pull off to hit pit road. Everybody in nice and clean there. We're gonna keep an eye on these 3 leaders and see where they re-emerge in the field after these stops.
Nobody is that I know or have been a teammate with, and I've a great team. Rick Johnson was the enemy for a long time, for about 10 years, and then he became my teammate, and that's when I realized how good and how smart this guy is. On our team channel, it'd be like, I'd be blah, 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 and he'd be like, no, Mel, do this. Don't do that, do this.
And I know you guys are probably wondering about the Veterans Tribute. I know we're at that halfway point, but we want to let these guys pull off these green flag pit stops and see where they get going again. We don't want you to miss out on that aspect. Sometimes we do races and green flag pit stops don't happen. We did just see them here, so we definitely want to savor the moment.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We're very proud of that, and the league and admins really push for that. Of course, it's easier with smaller fields than like the Hangover 200 had 35 cars in there. It's definitely when you have that many cars, the chances for green flag stops goes down big time.
And it
That
looks
was
like
a fantastic race there, by the way.
And it looks like we've actually lost the 29 of Jeff Hale. He's retired. Brian Lamb has gone 2 laps down. There's a couple cars a lap down now, so not sure what happened to Jeff Hale, but tough luck for him.
The speedway racing is all about that pit stop execution.
And it looks like after those pit stops, Scott Schroyer in the 55 is actually your race leader. Rick Johnson about 2.5 seconds back. But man, here comes Dan Jones on a rail from 5th to 3rd in about a lap and a half. He must have got a special set of tires on that thing.
Well, I seen Q in the pit stall there, and the little.
I mean, look at him. Look at that. Just blowing by the best drivers in sim racing. I don't think Dan is saving any tires. He's going for another win here, trying to add to his resume.
Well, and you got to be mindful of that because Rick Johnson definitely is, and he spares no expense at knowledge of what green flag racing is about. With a smaller field here, and it's not a small field. It's 16 cars started. It looks like, but he just got the whole package right there. You can't win a Pro Cup championship in any of these top leagues without being good at pit stops and tire management. And he'll start in the back, he'll start in the front. It'll depend. He'll make his decision, and then he will race the race accordingly.
All right, with 25 laps to go, things have settled down now. Scott Schroyer still leads by 2.5 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and run our Veterans Tribute. Every Pony Express Broadcast Network race that we do around the halfway point. A little late tonight, but we like to show our support for the veterans, past and present. And so we'll go ahead and run this real quick, and you'll still be able to keep an eye on the action though up in the corner.
Absolutely. Go Navy.
And we're back. That was our Veterans Tribute. As always, thank you to all the veterans
Awesome.
out there, past
That's
and
so
present.
cool.
We see Scott Schroyer still leading, but Jim
just
Christopherson.
pitted.
Scott Schroyer pulls off to pit with 20 laps to go. Dan, you can make it on fuel, right?
Yep.
So not sure. I believe Scott Schroyer is short pitted and is trying to make this race on 2 stops. But I believe this 4-car pack that we're looking here right now that's going to lap him. They don't have to stop again. So we'll. Not sure. I'm not personally sure that Scott Schroyer's pit strategy is going to work. I think this 4-car pack right here is solidly in the lead, six seconds ahead of the 33 Craig Meyer. So these front 4 don't want to see a caution.
Well, and you heard it from Dan. He can make it already, so they don't have to clutch. Clutching is an option here also on a track like this.
But yeah, as short as these chicken run races are, this is only a one-stop race, and these guys made their stop at about the halfway point, so they're good to go. Now it's just a matter of which one of these 4 can pull it off. So, and we've been looking at these 4 most of the night, obviously. So we're gonna go ahead and run through the field and take a look at some different cars further back. We see the 33 Craig Meyer back there rounding out the top 5. You get to see
he had some problems there. Obviously, he must have get that far back after those stops.
It's about a 4-car pack here. Rick Bisconer, Pops, and you see Scott Schroyer there. He's a lap down now. Ryan Johnson in the 59 is at the tail end of that 4-car pack, and then we got to go, another 10 seconds back to get to T-Roy in 9th place. Ken Soska, our Friday night admin. Steve Weber, our admin tonight back there and running in 11th, and then you see Dog in 12th, and it looks like Chet Barkin back here in 13th is currently the last car in the lead lap.
Itching paints here like we see all through the community. These guys that paint these cars, I could never even consider doing something like that. Barely turned the darn thing on, let alone wasn't for all the help in the community of all these smart guys. And you see that in every league. People that help paint, people that admin, people that run the show. It's all a community effort.
Well, Milt, we saw your old Aero 88 car. It still runs. You were able to get it out there on the track a couple days ago.
And that was, painted years ago by Dan Smith, who was one of the 3, me, Jim, and Dan Smith were basically the first 3 guys, along with a bunch of Canadians. Originally, when FSB started, there was like 8 of us out there a couple nights a week, and that's how it all started. NASCAR 3 for us, and Dan Smith was, he ended up splitting off from us and running CC Racing, where we, of course, got guys like, oh God, Mark, then the 6 car. Can't remember his last name. Oh my gosh.
DeCenza.
Mark DeCenza was. Dan used to tell me, "Come on over to our league and kick these guys' butts." And he goes, "They think they're something, And I go over there, and then I'd see this guy, and I started to get to know him. And of course, it was a pro league like the FSB and these other leagues, and I was really impressed with his sportsmanship, his character, and of course his driving. And see him here now, and there's a couple other guys. Of course, I'm brain farting again. Too many beers, but that are here now and still racing at FSB now. The CCR racing is gone by the wayside, and Smith is out. But he painted that car for me years ago. Yep.
Man, look at this 3-car battle for the lead. 11 laps to go. Elliker and Rick Johnson side by side. All over the bumper of Jim Christopherson.
Caution south. Caution south.
Oh no! Christopherson and Rick Johnson get together. That's the 47. Josh Elliker is going to inherit the lead. Dan Jones is going to move up into second. That is going to tighten the field up here. We're going to have a 6 to 7 lap restart now.
Obviously, what Rick did not want to do, but obviously he missed that apex point coming in there, and was not realizing he was going to slow down that much or whatever, because he's got to be kicking himself right now because it took him out too.
So we're going to go ahead and head to the caution rewind screen for the first and probably only time tonight, and get you a better view of that caution.
I've probably said this 100 times, but man, this is so cool the way you do this. You are the man in NASCAR 2003 broadcasting. This stuff is all the bells and gadgets and quality and everything is, and the show is bar none, my friend.
And here we go. We're actually riding in the cockpit of Rick Johnson's car, and let's see if we can see what goes wrong here.
Rick is such a clean driver. There is no way that he would want to make contact here.
Just got a little too close there on entry, and definitely nothing intentional. Is Rick, like you said, Rick is a pro driver.
It's hard to say right there. He might have just came in too hard because he did look like he had a lot of momentum there, and definitely, FSB Racing has a 2-incident deal there. So, of course, that's
taking
first
one more
caution.
look at it. Hard hit for both of those cars there. I gotta say that's probably gonna take both of them out of the running for the win tonight.
Stuff happens so fast. He's got a car on the inside. His spotter's going inside, and at the same time, he's trying to get a run. They're trying to follow Jim past Josh Elliker in the 47 there. He obviously felt like that was his chance to get into P2 and fight for the win, and obviously that didn't work out.
And so getting back up front, let's ask our in-race reporter, Dan. I'm assuming you pitted under that caution.
Absolutely, took 4 new tires.
Now, did T-Roy pit?
Yes, he did. He got out just before me.
So I'm going to go ahead and guess T-Roy must have taken 2 tires in order to get by Elliker and Dan. So T-Roy in the 17 car is now going to be your race leader when we do this restart. And we see Ken Soska up there now too, in 3rd place, and Pop's rounding out the top 5.
Well, we've talked on Facebook with our Facebook sim racing friends. Seen guys get to meet each other, and I've got to meet T-Roy. He's been one of our long-standing league guys. Always a great sportsman. He's a big guy, Johnny Bench type of. He loves baseball, loves the San Francisco Giants. Alcohol salesman. Whatever alcohol he sells, he peddles on that car. If his company changes, then he changes that paint. So that Fireball whiskey car right there is definitely what he's selling 5 days a week. Him and his wife, wonderful people. We've stayed there, did go-kart racing, uh, a wonderful family, ping pong. I missed that, and we haven't done one of those in a while. That's for all us California guys, where these guys are all over. You know, he's from Stockton, California, and that guy can cook some chicken, 2 barbecues at a time going, frozen cold tequila in the, you know, man, I tell you what, and fortunately a nice couch for me to sleep on, so me and Jim didn't have to, and Brad Otto went with us too, so we didn't have to drive anywhere. Well, we did a couple of them, you know.
And here we go. The lights are out on the pace car. We're about to take the green flag again.
Come on, T-Roy.
It's going to be a 6-lap shootout. Will those 2 tires hold up for the 17, or will the 4 fresh ones of Dan Jones prevail, or can Josh Elliker move from 4th place back to the front in 6 laps? We'll see what happens here, or maybe even Ken Soska, our Friday night admin.
Been a long time since T-Roy's got a big win here, and this is definitely a broadcast win. And also you got Ken Soska looking to get, you know, maybe his first win here in this division. And then you got Dan Jones there, who is probably the more experienced and has definitely gotten a lot of wins. And Elliker right behind. Pops right there in 5th.
Here we go. Dan and T-Roy side by side. Elliker on the inside.
Ah, man.
And it looks like Dan and T-Roy made the slightest of contact there, door to door. T-Roy's 2 tires were
Caution is out.
real easy for his car to take the brunt of that contact. Josh Elliker was able to take advantage of that and win the race back to the line. With 4 to go, that's probably going to be the race. That's probably going to be a win for Josh Elliker.
Definitely what Dan didn't want to happen. Kind of a little, that looks like a racing incident there. A little up by Dan, a little T-Roy not going to give him room there. He's fighting for the win, but those 2 tires definitely were struggling there. And that's what I'm seeing initially anyway. The long season, 23 races this year for FSB Championship Series, aside from Grand Touring Prototypes, which I will be adminning on. Got to throw a plug in there. Even,
you know, speaking of that, I always, there's people in the community I see, you know, asking questions about GTP and whatnot. You know, and I always tell them, hey, if you got questions about GTP, FSB actually runs a series, so they can probably answer your questions. Milt, go ahead and tell us about your GTP series. It's actually named after your dad.
Yeah, that's a great honor, and you know, the cool thing was like after we did the Hangover 200, the guys from ECT and BSR and
RTG.
they were like, an RTG. They were like, let's do a little Mid-Ohio. We jumped in there and we road raced. You know, you can talk the talk, but walk the, you know, and we had some fun, just good battling, fun, just having fun stuff. And, you know, I mean, it's not about how fast you are or you know, what you say and blah, blah, blah. It's just good, hard racing, and we raced each other clean, and we were all laughing. And, you know, dudes were taking a look at our website afterwards, like, because I was building up GTP, and they were talking about it, you know, and we've got all the info in there, and it's, you know, Sunday mornings, it might be an option for guys that race a lot, but it, you know, because all through the community, and like those guys, they had some serious skills. You know, I finished like third in that race, and you know, BSR Chevy Chase, and I I get a little confused with names and handles, but guys can roll, and there's a lot of, and they could definitely pick up GTP. So I mean, there's install instructions there. It takes a little work, and we have setups for all the tracks and setups I've made, and or Doug Tevick has made, and throughout the years, and 225 mile an hour cars, all the great tracks. We got a custom Le Mans that was built for us that we ran 3 24-hour races at. It's just like the one you see on TV. No, not quite as, flamboyant as iRacing, but it's pretty darn close. And there's just, and we want to keep that series alive, if we don't get enough cars this season, it could be, the end of it because of the so much iRacing, road racing we're doing. And this is predominantly a, stock car racing league. So
We're gonna have a one lap shootout.
there you go.
Here we go. The lights are out on the pace car. We're going to have a one-lap shootout. The 47, Josh Elliker, is going to lead us to the green flag for that. So we are definitely glad to see that we're going to have a race back to the line to crown a winner here. So, we saw Josh Elliker already won the race back to the line. Now he's got to try and win the race a second time.
Dog pitting there again. He's just letting cars by there to go to the back. Great sportsmanship by the dog there. And the last 10 laps at FSB, all lap cars must go to the back so that the leaders can race for it. It's not, except for Monday nights with the Lucky Dog and double file restarts, the rest of these series are still old school. So by rules, last 10 laps you have to go to the back and end of longest line.
And here we go. Don't count out that 33 of Craig Meyer restarting.
Oh, he's a stud, man. He was right there in the king of the hill, and he knows what to do. Pops Markison, longtime veteran, Trans Am champ, and former Friday night the Winston Cup champ. He don't slouch either. Just had his 69th birthday, I believe, and okay, maybe not that old, but still, we call him the Pops. There we go.
And it just doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to get to Elliker. 33 made a good shot there for second. Wasn't able to get there, though. So we'll go ahead and Dan's in here. Dan, congratulations on the runner-up finish tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Disappointed with that move.
Yeah, you never want to get it at anybody, but racing is racing, it's just the way it is. And definitely, you guys were racing for position. You were trying to pass, and he was trying to not let you pass. So that's how it goes, Got to shoot for a gap. Ayrton Senna said, if you don't shoot for a gap, no longer a race car driver. But then again, cleanliness is definitely, as Josh Elliker burns them off there, and he's such a class act and such a great driver and handles everything so well, and he definitely deserves this win. And he's on the burnout cam for show. Get some.
Hey, Josh, this is Mark and Milt up in the booth. We just saw you do your burnout there. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
Now, we understand you're actually on a new team this year, correct?
Yep, with Slim Sim Racing.
Oh boy, that's a powerhouse right there.
Yeah, I gotta thank the shop. They definitely put in some good engines.
Well, you raced it real clean and got 4 tires in your last stop, correct?
Yes, I did. I've raced here enough to know that tires mean a lot. So I didn't want to get caught there trying to take two and getting out front because I just didn't trust the tires. Needed 4 new ones to have the traction, and that's what mattered in the end.
Well,
Yeah, good win, Josh.
We've seen you run. Always run clean, always class act, and then you stepped away for a while doing life, and since you've been back running Friday nights and running these series, you've had great finishes, and it's good to see you in victory lane, bro.
It's good to be here. I thank you. I thank everybody for doing this. It's a great league and a great series, and I'm happy to be back running some more races. And this track, I'm always happy to see on the schedule. It's one of my favorites.
So there you have it, Josh Elliker, tonight's race winner in the FSB Racing Chicken Run, brought to you by Monsoon Motorsports. Also, Dan Jones running up second place tonight. Thanks to Milt for joining us in the booth, and we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll catch you again next month. We'll bring another Chicken Run race live for you.
Right on.